Sean and I just finished recording a podcast for the Wannabe Balance podcast, but it's also the Mormon Enlightenment podcast. And we're sharing a whole bunch of things that we have learned since leaving the Mormon church 2 years ago. We have run into so many different issues and pitfalls, but it's always ended in so much growth and even a deeper connection in our marriage. It has not been easy, let me just be honest. But we wanted to share some of our most recent discoveries and pertaining to some new things that we have been a little more open about since leaving the religion. One of them being alcohol and the other one being our intimacy. So yeah, I just wanted to do this quick video so that I could direct you guys over to the podcast, and we really open up about a lot of things that we've been discussing over the past 2 years, but more recently over the past 2 weeks have been like mind-blowing. So we are very passionate about sharing our journey with all of you and making it public because it is an intense roller coaster ride of emotions, and it ain't pretty all the time. So we see value in being open and vulnerable about these real life issues that we have dealt with in our own marriage since leaving the religion. It hasn't been easy, but like I said, so much personal growth and even deeper connection has been born from all of our struggles. And so for that, I am definitely grateful. So you can find the podcast on iTunes, or you can go to my website, wannabebalance.com, and all of our podcast episodes are on there. We're at 87 episodes now, and we have been sharing our journey out of Mormonism since episode 21. So if you want to go way back, you can start there. What started as more of a self-help podcast for moms transformed into our documentation of our journey out of Mormonism. And there's been so many things that we've learned, so many struggles that we've had, and we really open up and we share all of it on the podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm excited that I have Sean here today. He did an incredible video the other day in the Mormon Enlightenment Facebook group, and I just was like, oh my gosh, we got to do this in a podcast too, because I'm just very particular about like audio and like lighting and everything. So he's really good about like spontaneously sharing messages, and I'm really good about scheduling and making sure we have good audio and I'm more of the planner in the relationship. But this message that he shared,
that was the nice way of saying your video sucked only because of the audio sucked and the lighting sucked, and yeah, so.
Well, it was such a powerful message. I'm like, I want to make sure that everybody can really hear what you're saying and get the most out of it, and more people can find it also, because in the Facebook group, things easily get buried and people may never see the video that he did. So I wanted to make sure to get it on the podcast and on the YouTube channel as well. Yeah, the audio was not good because he was watering the grass, and I noticed those things, and it was really windy. So I'm just like, oh, it was so good. I just wish there wasn't like the water in the background and the wind and all that. So we're going to revisit this whole message, and I just loved Sean's thoughts, and we've just been learning so much. It's been 2 years now since we've been out of the church, and it's funny because you do think that you overcome certain hurdles in your marriage, and you're like, oh my gosh, like we're so good now, like everything's so much better, and then you just get comfortable and you think like things are going to just stay that good. They do for a long time, but then something else comes up, and it always ends up being a really good thing, but it's just really painful when we're going through it, and it's a lot of stress and a lot of talking and arguing, and so over the last 2 weeks we've really come so far in our relationship. We've overcome a lot of things. We've come to a better understanding with one another. And so I'm just really grateful for where we're at. And we wanted to just go through and share some of the things that we have learned more recently. I think in the beginning, when we first left the church, like I think we get a little overzealous with like how we want to allow one another to be free, and we want to remove all judgment. But I think in an effort to remove judgment, we may also unintentionally rule out all reason. We were trying so hard to let each other be free, and we didn't want to judge, but we also realized that that mentality can backfire if we try to suppress our true feelings about things. So it's okay to speak up. It's okay to set boundaries in your relationship. It's okay to have requests of one another as long as you both feel you are equally compromising. You can protect your marriage without trying to control or change one another. And so Sean is going to go into a little bit of what he talked about and how some of the things that we've learned and how we've realized that freedom is still very much a good thing, but here's some tips on how to safely navigate your newfound freedom.
Hey guys, good to be with you. Thanks, Crystal. Appreciate it. Glad you liked my video and everything about it. But no, Crystal and I, we have been talking about this a lot over the last, it's been months. But we're seeing in the post-Mormon world some things that are very concerning. And we don't operate from a place of, we need to dictate to the post-Mormon world what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. And, even just consider that kind of dynamic, the post-Mormon world really resents that. The post-Mormon world does not, by and large, it's really this quandrum because they don't want to be told what to do, but left to their own devices, they get into a lot of trouble and a lot of problems. There is some truth when people say that, when people leave the church, their whole lives kind of fall apart. Now, obviously, that's a biased view, but based on what I'm seeing in a lot of different situations, there's some truth to that. And so Crystal and I have been thinking, like, why is that? Why is that it appears as though many people go off the deep end? Why is it that so many people get obsessive over alcohol? Absolutely obsessive. To the extent that it's all they want to talk about, it's all they want to do. And we were thinking about it, and we were looking at, a lot of different situations that we're familiar with. And we thought, gosh, it almost appears as if those people would be better off as Mormons. Not that being a Mormon is really an option anymore, but, at least the Mormon church provided people some guidance in terms of, what they should and shouldn't avoid and what they should and shouldn't do. And Crystal, we kind of feel like people left to their own devices, they just go crazy. And obviously a part of that is a result of leaving a very suppressive religion. Mm-hmm. And they just go absolutely crazy. So
this is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel